Assalamu alaikum. Rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. So the brothers, they want me to kind of discuss some of the realities of marriage. They've been watching some other talks, some lectures, and they've noticed that a lot of the imams is talking about marriage and divorce. And generally, I tend to see it, I've been seeing it for years. Right before Ramadan starts, people get divorced, or people get married, or people end up in talks, or become intended, and sometimes it just fall through, sometimes it just don't work out. So you're starting to see imams around these particular times that start to talk a lot about marriage and the marital issues and trying to help resolve a lot of it, because there's a hadith where one of the signs of the hour is when marriage is going to become difficult, but zina will become easy. Just illegal sexual intercourses, fornicating, adultery, hookup culture. So anyway, the brother was saying how why is there so many single Muslims but they can't seem to get together? And what I've come to notice, this isn't in every single case, of course, but like I say, by being a wakil, going through the processes with wakils, different sit-down processes, and just getting the experience of it and seeing how this wakil may do it with their ward, sit with their ward, just checking it out. And throughout experiences and the people who I deal with, the problem that I see, and I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, is selfishness, pettiness, not knowing how to really be Muslim, right? And not really knowing how to be married. And this is on both sides, male and female. They both be petty. They both be selfish. They don't be knowing how to be Muslim. And throughout these processes, it's an ayat in Surah number 24, ayat number 26, where it speaks about when you could go through these certain ayats and different ayats in the Quran, but 24, 26 kind of stand out the most about it, where it referred to how wicked and evil women are for wicked and evil men, right? And then good and pious women are for good and pious men. So sometimes you will see a good sister, but she's trying to link up with a bad brother, and all the signs is there that they shouldn't marry. And then sometimes it's a good brother and he's trying to link up with a bad sister, and Allah just isn't allowing it. So this is why a lot of people aren't coming together, the little things that's in between, that's of pettiness and selfishness, things that they're not willing to give up, for the purposes of being married and for the purposes of their deen. And of course Shaitan is going to always be there, but I always think of that ayat when I'm looking at these situations. So sometimes you will see a very bad, rocky marriage when it's two people. This is something I'm seeing. Two people who never should have got married in the first place. They never should have got married in the first place. Then sometimes it's a good couple, but they don't know how to be married, or things of pettiness. So I want to give an example, man. And I heard an imam maybe in like 2016, and he was speaking about compatibility. How when people start to try to get married, because he also did marriage counseling, he did nikahs, he was a wakil, and he was saying a lot of times he see when people start to have issues, it's due to compatibility. They're really not compatible, and but they trying to force it. They might like each other, but they're not compatible, so they try to force it. And me listening to him say this years ago, it put it in my head to try to look for the same things, because I was naive at one point in time, thinking that because two people was Muslim, that was all the compatibility that they really needed. And he was giving examples about, like, you might have a person who came from wealth and then another person who came from poverty. So this one still like to spend their money in a way of kind of like they're wealthy, but they can afford it, they could do that. But the one that's from poverty, they have problems with the way money's being spent because they come from poverty and they can't relate to it. You see? So that was just that was the exact example that he gave, and I was listening to it. So I just want to share like a few things that I seen, and inshallah, man, this would really help some people, because when men know men and women know women, we know that you see I see two type of things with certain females that they don't realize, right? Some women know how to keep a man. Some women just has a dude who stayed because they had kids. They may have had a materialistic looking life, so the brother just stayed and saw happiness elsewhere. Unfortunately, for non-Muslims and some Muslims. But women think they're the only ones that may be married to somebody that they're not attracted to. They do this for me, they take care of this, they take care of that. I'm not really attracted to them. I don't really feel them like that. But the last thing in their head is they're that exact same thing. Some women know how to keep a man, and then some women, a dude just chose to stay. And I just want to be real about this, and I want to get to the point. Sometimes people overvalue themselves, male and female. And we're getting to this point where the value that women see in themselves, they think men see that. So like, you might value yourself as a 20, but as far as your value towards him, it might be a 5. But you know, some people have to tell themselves and do their ego thing. No, I know my worth is this, my worth is that. But that what you're considering your worth might be a 5 to him. And vice versa. Like, let's say you have a Muslim sister. She want a real good Muslim man. Like even when I you know, cause I'm gonna always be honest, even in the wakil process. I'm gonna be honest with the brother and the sister. Right? You may have, and this is something that I see. So sisters, they want this brother who prays, who studies, and just love Allah, just crazy about Allah. But they're not even like that. They don't even want to be like that. You know, they might say, yeah, I love Allah. I love Allah. I love God. But they don't want to pray do all that extra praying. They don't want to do all that extra studying. But they want the brother to be like that. So then when I be honest and say, okay, why do you want him to be all on that type of level, but you don't want to be on that level yourself? And 9 times out of 10, the answer always be, if they love Allah like that, then there's no way that they're going to do me wrong. They love Allah too much to do me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Okay, but what about you doing him wrong? See, these things don't be concerns. He a man. He'll get over it. So, let's say the value, one sister, the brother, he always studying. He's always in classes, right? Really, really striving. He's praying all the time at night, doing sunnahs, dhikr. One sister, that might be what she wants. So, and he's exactly that. So his value is in that. But then you might have another Muslim sister who want the type of guy around the house who can fix stuff and build stuff. His deen might not be all that, but he might have that look. He might have a beard. He might wear his pants above his ankles, right? But his deen really not like that. But she wants somebody who can fix pipes, fix the toilet, change tires, oil, you know, build flower boxes, paint the kitchen, you know, those type of things, rebuild the porch or the deck. So the value, the man who could do all that, their value might be in that. So he might feel like because he's this praying person and all of this was the value to these other sisters that he sat with. But now he's sitting with this sister and she don't really care about that. She wants somebody who could fix pipes in her house and who can paint her kitchen, who can put hardwood floors down for her, recarpet the bedrooms, and you know what I'm saying? But he don't have those skills. But they might like each other. Your value, that brother value to him might be a 20. Because he's the praying, he's the this, he's the that. But that value might be a 5 to her. So sometimes people overvalue themselves because what you seeing in yourself or what the other person may see in you, this particular person that you with, that might be a 5 to them. That don't have nothing to do with self-worth, self-esteem, and all that type of stuff. They just might not care about that. So sometimes, man, people need to humble themselves and have to learn how to make adjustments. And you have to really be honest with yourself about why you're with a person. Why do you want to be with this person? Because I have to be honest, man. You want somebody that's going to be better to you than you want to be to them. You got all these expectations on a person, but you don't want to go through that same process to become that pious Muslim yourself, because you focus on how you're going to be treated and not how you're going to treat the other person. So these be things that I see where people can't get over the hump, or they get married anyway and they just can't make it work. They're not compatible. And they may both overvalue themselves. But how she values herself is a 5 to him. And how he values himself, that stuff is a 5 to her. That stuff doesn't mean anything to them. And it just be like that sometimes. So that's something that I see a lot. And sometimes it becomes a tug of war. Because when she get mad, you sitting around doing all this praying and stuff, man. I need somebody to lay these hardwood floors. So then it'll start to turn into, what do I need you for? Everything that I need you to be, you can't be it. And then vice versa. What do I need you for? You don't want to study. You don't want to read. Anything that involves a deen, I can't get you to do it with me. You know what I'm saying? She blaming him because her deen is a certain way, and he's blaming her because his deen is a certain way. You see what I'm saying? But they might genuinely like each other. They're just not compatible. They should have never got married in the first place. The next thing that I see is some people just crazy, man. But they don't know it. Or they don't admit it. Like, what I notice is, like, the people who be honest with themselves and be like, man, I be tripping. Like, I don't know what was wrong with me. Like, I don't know what was going through my head. And I done seen sisters and brothers do this. So they know that they be tripping, but when they get to tripping, they don't realize it at the time. And then if they realize it later on, they don't apologize for it. So like this right here is like, so some people be crazy, man, and some people just have disorders. So like some people, if you come across this, you're gonna have to just be prepared to deal with it. Some women, they need to realize, man, I don't think women use based off of the way that they choose. Some women not used to dealing with men that will leave them alone. And sometimes they choose men that they know won't leave them alone. And they could treat them any type of way. This man loved me so much and he need me so much. He don't do nothing but run his mouth. But my mouth reckless. I'll run my mouth even more towards him. So I'm saying that because this right here is some of the things that I see, and I do advise people in this sort of thing. If you see it, I personally won't marry nobody like this. Like, okay, true story. So I was going through the sit down process with a sister. You know, me and her Wakil was cool. And like I said, I like to go through the process sometimes. I don't be playing games. I really be serious. I take it serious. But I like going through the process sometimes. You could really learn a lot. So, we had They want to, like some, they'll do these things where you get with them and they watch kill, and you come to their house and then they'll do this cooking thing so you can see how they cook. So anyway, we was at their house. It was funny too. We was on the west side of Philly, right? So when I come in the house, you know, of course the Wakil, everybody is there, there's people there, you know, and of course y'all know who I got with me, me and Deeds, right? So as we get there, what I notice is they had 3 remote controls, right? And then there was like a mat in the middle of the table. And then there was a couple of books on the table. So what I noticed was each remote had the exact same amount of space in between them. And then they was all perfectly centered in between that mat, where the mat was perfectly centered in between the table, in the table. So it's the same amount of space on the side, on this side of the mat, as it was this side of the mat from the table, and then this way. And then it was the same with the books. So I knew then it's a possibility this person got some OCD. You know what I'm saying? So what I did was, when I sat down at the table, and you know, I got one of the Muslim brothers had OCD real bad. He still got it. So like sometimes when I go over his house or something, and like he used to have this teapot and he had the sugar and stuff out, and we know we be making tea, and when we would use the sugar, or like he made coffee, and we use like the creamer, and if everything wasn't lined up 100% perfectly, like I would slide it over just an inch or something, and it would bother him until he went and moved it. So that was always my test to see how, if somebody had OCD. Now, we're not making fun of the disorder, but the thing is this: in their head, something is always going to be wrong. So even no matter what's going on, if it don't line up with the way that their mind is set, they're always going to have a problem. Everything bothers them. Everything gets on their nerves. They get on their own nerves. So when I seen this, so what I did was, soon as I sat down, the first thing I did was I sat down while we talking, and I looked at these, and I just leaned down to the remote and just turned it where it was kind of slanted. It wasn't perfectly straight. As soon as I turned it just a little bit where it was kind of crooked, they immediately got right back up and straightened it, and you know, even fooled with it like this until they was all perfect, and then looked at it and sat down. So I was like, you know, mashallah, this is a nice little book. So then I picked one of the books up, was going through the books, and you know, they supposed to be cooking and doing this and that. There's some other sisters there. So then when I put the book down, I put the book down a little bit crooked. What they do? Immediately came over there and made sure the book was 100% lined up. So I said, yeah, man, this is a person, they're not going to be able to deal with no grown man. So I was like, so as everything going on, you know, I'm talking about the channel. I'm like, is it cool if I change the channel and this and that? Like, yeah. So when I would change the channel, because, you know, at the time I used to frequent Philly, so I know the channels. So I changed the channels, and instead of putting the remote back on the table, I set it next to me on the side of me on the couch. And you know what they would do? They would just keep looking at that remote. They supposed to be going back in the kitchen and doing what they doing. But they would find their way to come grab the remote from right next to me and put it back on the table. So I used to be like, why you won't let me just sit the remote next to me where I can, because you know I'm going to change the channel again. but it was because of the OCD. In their mind, it got to be 100% perfectly centered, and then it got to be the exact same amount of space, because it was 3 remotes. They all had to have the exact amount of space in between them. So when I see, me personally, I'm not going to marry nobody like that, because you will start to see everything is an issue. No matter what's going on. No, and it won't just be with you. It be with everybody and everything that got something going on. Somebody might have a spot on a car window and it don't really bother them. Why you got that spot on your window? You know what I'm saying? Why you don't sit up straight? Why you laugh so much? Why you looking like that? You know what I'm saying? So as we talking and this and that, then they get to going through this thing. So now they have these little things about like, well, I don't cook. Nobody allowed to cook in my kitchen after 6 o'clock. You know what I'm saying? I'm done with everything by 6 o'clock, by 7 o'clock. My kitchen is spotless. You got to keep your glass. And when you drink out of your glass, you got to come set your glass right here on these towels. Drink your water or drink what you're going to drink from it. Rinse it out and then set it right there and then dry my sink back out. So me, I'm a person who used to getting off 11:30 at midnight. Sometimes I might come home and cook some. I might stop at one of the little Muslim spots or something and grab something. Might go sit in the masjid or something. And then when I come home, it might be cold. I might want to pop it in the microwave. Can't nobody use the microwave, no nothing after 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. Seeing no grown man that got something going on with himself, going to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not talking to no 15, 16-year-old kid. You talking to men above 30, above 40 sometimes in their case. Now you can't cook in my kitchen after 6 o'clock. You need to be done eating and everything by 6:30, because my kitchen got to be spotless by 7. So you telling me as a grown man, if I jump up and want me a sandwich or some snack or something like that, want to go make me a little sandwich or something at 8, 9 o'clock? I can't do it. Not in my kitchen. Ain't no grown man gonna marry you. Ain't no grown man gonna marry you. So and then these behaviors carry on to the bathroom. If the towel ain't perfectly this way and that way, and I done seen people who be married and those exact same issues ruin their marriage, because the other person might not fold the towel perfectly where all corners touching the same, and then the towel rack might be like this. They might take their towel and hang it up right here by the edge of the towel rack instead of perfectly in the middle, and the towel not folded 100%, but it's folded, and they just put it right there at the edge. It might be just a towel that they dry their hands on, and then when they go to the bathroom, they just use it to dry their hands on. The other person might think, oh man, they nasty, they not clean. They don't fold it 100% perfectly and put it right in the middle where it's a perfect amount of space on both sides of it. If you take out a tape measure and measure it, it's going to be 10 inches perfectly on both sides. So they'll sit up and say that person is nasty and stuff like that. They not clean enough for me. What? So, and I'm being honest, these is things. This is the pettiness. But see, some people have disorders. They can't control it. And their mind still functions like that outside of the remotes being perfectly lined up. Your towel, every time you hang a towel up on the towel rack, it got to be perfectly this way. It got to be military folded. The bed, everything, each pillow got to be lined up perfectly. You know, if you laying in the bed watching TV and you got the remote next to you, you got to change the channel and then put the remote perfectly square on the nightstand. Then when you're ready to change the channel again, you got to pick it back up, change it, do the volume, and then put it perfectly there. Nah, man. And what I'm starting to see, although I know a couple of brothers like that, it seems like the older women is starting to get, the more they're getting that way. And then brothers starting to really like care less. Like that stuff don't matter to them. We like comfort. We like convenience. You're not going to tell no grown man that he can't cook in his own kitchen. Now, if you don't want to cook something, if you don't want to do this and that, but it will drive them insane if you come in and use the microwave. Like real talk. I know a brother was married to this sister. This a real scenario. And when I got off work, when I would get off work, sometimes I would go over there, you know, Muslim brother. So sometimes when I would get off work, I would go over there and kick it with him, you know, chop it up with him. And the Muslim spot, you know, the little fish and chicken spot and all that was right around the corner from him, and we was good. They would stay open. I would call them while I was getting off, and they would stay open so I could come pick up my last order, you know, while they cleaning up and stuff, so they have my stuff ready. But sometimes it might be a little cold. So I'm coming to his house to kick it, and nobody in his house can go use the microwave or anything at 10 o'clock. After 10 o'clock, you can't use the microwave. Man, I got all this chicken, man, and I had these jalapeno poppers, right? And I'm like, man, you know, the jalapeno poppers had got a little cold. Man, let me use the microwave. He like, nah, man, baby girl get to tripping and this and that. I'm like, hey, man, I'm finna use this microwave, brother. I mean, I knew her. You know what I'm saying? I knew her longer than him. We was cool. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like we grew up together. I grew up with both of them. Like, man, I'm going to use that microwave, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like I said, you know, they had a couple of kids, but like, come on, man. Like, how you doing that, man? You know, he used to love microwave popcorn. He wouldn't even pop no microwave popcorn and stuff after 10. He was older than her. Brother, I'm going to use that microwave, man. She jump up and say something, man. Just tell her it's me. That's brother y'all seen, man, using the microwave. But they marriage fall apart behind stuff like that, man. Little petty stuff like that. You ain't gonna tell no grown, or even like a man, you ain't gonna tell no grown woman, man, they can't get water and stuff after 7 o'clock and all this other stuff. Like on all because if it ain't lined up in their head, or you know, like real talking, it ain't no knock to them. In front of the TV where we was at, so like while we was kicking and this and that, when she would come in, like the TV stand, it had like these little pots and this and that. Every time she would come in there, she would wipe in front of the TV, and then she would wipe the TV, like right over the top of the TV and all that. No dust, no nothing. I'll say while we was over there about 2 hours. She probably wiped in front of that TV and wiped around the TV 50 times. D's, am I lying? D's. Look, D says she wiped it about 75 times. Okay? And you know what I'm saying? We looking at it, but I'm like, you know, it ain't even dirty. It ain't nothing. She just steady cleaning what's already cleaned. Not saying that she was a bad sister. We cool to this day. We cool to this day. But I couldn't marry her, man. Because she's always going to find something wrong with something. She's going to always find something wrong with something. Just like no joke, my phone right here. If I put my phone in my pocket like this, and let's say my phone just a little bit crooked like this, or it's this way, it's just a little crooked. Like how that's crooked, that's going to bother her. Why you got your phone in your pocket like that? Until they come and have to fool with it and do this and that. Until it's just 100% perfectly square and it's a same amount of space between this and this. So like there's always going to be something. And you know, I kept it 100 with them. And then when they did eventually get married, no knock to them, they marriages never last a month. Because of that same stuff. But see, brothers get to thinking they can fix that. Now, them disorders, man. So, brothers, and I advise brothers, man, when you see people that have those type of disorders, you're going to have a lot of patience. You're going to have a lot of patience. And certain people who have those type of disorders, they feel like they have to be in control of every single thing. You know, they might even want to control what you watch on TV. You know, you might, and this was another thing. Like when they cooked, I'm an individual, I like spicy food. They don't care for spicy food. Like, they don't even really like pepper. I like pepper on my food. I like hot sauce. So when they cooked, they got mad at everybody who added pepper to the food. Now you eat my food how it is. They got mad at the Wakil. They got mad at D's. They got mad at me. Like, why is y'all adding pepper to my food? Don't add nothing to my food. Don't add no cheese. Don't add no salt. Don't add no pepper. Don't put no hot sauce on it. And they were serious. You know what I'm saying? As grown people. Because the way that they mind function, when things don't line up 100% perfectly the way they see it in their head, they got a problem with it. So, you know, man, and I'm speaking on the experience that I had, but that is something that I see a lot. And I see a lot of marriages ruined because of it. Because they just can't stop being that way. They just can't stop being that way, man. You know, like I said, I only know one brother who was like that. You know what I'm saying? And he get mad, man. His wife, man, she dirty, man. She she don't got the towel perfectly square. It ain't in the middle of the rack, man. That's dirty. Man, that's not dirty. It's just not perfect. You know what I'm saying? What's the difference between the towel hanging up right here and then the towel hanging up right there? What's the difference in that? Nah, man, if it ain't in the middle, nah, see, man, that's just OCD, brother. That's a you problem. That's a you problem, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Even when they wash the dishes and they do the glasses, and then they put the glasses on a towel in front of the little dish rack. If the towels wasn't, if every glass wasn't lined up perfectly, and if it was like a tall glass, short glass, tall glass, short glass cup, it had to be tall glass, tall glass, tall glass, tall glass. If it wasn't like that, you nasty, this dirty, this ain't clean. You ain't neat enough for me. This stuff ruin marriages. And like I said, a lot of people older in their age, and they can't change it. They can't change it to have a spouse. And some of y'all brothers might not know it, man, because like I say, man, some of the sisters, they be a little older, over 40, over 50. You know, this little stuff about cooking in their kitchen or doing stuff in their kitchen after 5. Like, wallahi, I knew a sister who was like, had a son and trying to help with their marriage process. They talking about nobody allowed to touch their washer, they washer and dryer, because nobody know how to use it like them, and you know. So like a brother can't even wash his own clothes. But they expect you to pay all these bills, do all this and that, and then you can't even use your own microwave because it's after 10 o'clock. You hungry, you can't go in there and make a sandwich. You know what I'm saying? You can't even just go in there and fix you a glass of water and all type of weird stuff, man. But this is with grown people. And unfortunately, man, a lot of this happens in Muslim marriages or during sit-down processes. You know, like with me though, a lot of my issues, to be honest with you, if the issue ain't Islamic, I ain't gonna have no problem with it. But then at the same time, I like even with the sister, I didn't criticize her like for that. I understand that's how you are, and I understand no matter what's going on, there's always going to be a problem. And when you can't figure out what that problem is, you're going to tell yourself what the problem is. Self-inflicted wounds. Self-inflicted wounds. And once you tell yourself what that problem is, first and foremost, it all started in your head because of the way you view things. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, and you know, even the Wakil, you know, because he the Wakil and he knew her, he kept telling her, why you keep wiping that TV? Why you keep wiping in front of that TV? You know what I'm saying? He was like, man, I'm almost starting to feel like you just getting in front of the TV for some attention. You know what I'm saying? And then she even had to pause for a minute and say, dang, why do I keep wiping this TV? True story. Why do I keep wiping this TV? You know, I had to tell her, man, get out from in front of that TV. But then, you know, we sit down, we get to chopping it up. You know, everybody eating, trying to have a good time. Of course, they go it off because we added some pepper and some hot sauce. Which was funny because one of the sisters who came over there, they bought the pepper and hot sauce with them because they know her cooking, and they just like pepper and they like hot sauce like we do. So they brought hot sauce because they knew she wasn't gonna have any because she don't like hot sauce. You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do? Just force your husband to never eat hot sauce? You know what I'm saying? Well, if you expect me to cook your food and this and that, I ain't gonna never make it spicy for you because I don't like it. Sister, you're not gonna get married. You're not gonna get married. I'll just cook it on my own. No, because don't nobody cook in my kitchen but me. I'll never live with you. So like I said, man, these type of things, man, shout out to the people who deal with it. But these little things like this, they mess marriages up, man. And people won't change it to be married. You know, another scenario, like people who have dogs, man. This like, and I gotta say this because I had to say this. And like I say, I get it. Like even on my block right now, all the single sisters that live on my block, they all got at least 2 dogs. Real talk. The single white ladies, the single black girls, you know, young, old. Like wallahi, like shorty right across the street got a pit bull and like a pit bull mix, big old pit bull, boy and a girl. Because I get it. I understand why they got it. Right down up here, huge, vicious pit bull. I'm talking about violent. try to break the chain. One of them type of pit bulls, if it bust that chain off, like it attacked the mailman. So I get it. I understand why they got it. So I understand why pit bulls and, vicious dogs starting to become a thing for women, even the Muslim women. They scared. So I sit down and say, if your best friend came over your house, just been out kicking it and hanging out. If your best friend been outside kicking it butt naked, and then came in your house butt naked and set their bare booty and everything on your couch, what would you say? I'ma snap. I'll lose it. Is you crazy? Don't be sitting your bare butt on my furniture. But then I sit down and say, but you let your dog do it. Your dog, and got more than one dog. You let your dogs do it. You let your dogs go run around outside, play. You even watch your dog scratch ticks and stuff all in their neck. And then they'll come right in your house and sit butt naked. Because your dogs is butt naked. Booty, female private parts, male private parts, and sit right on your couch. Right on your climb, right up in your bed. Get butt naked and climb right up on you. Ain't had no bath in 2 weeks, a month. Dogs don't take showers and stuff every day. Or every other day like humans. But if a human came and sat butt naked on your couch, you have a problem with it. But if your dogs do it, you're perfectly fine. But this is something that you're not willing to change to have a husband. But that's nasty. So that's all I'm saying, man. And it's unfortunate, man, because we Muslims, man, and a lot of stuff that I'm naming, it shouldn't go on between two Muslims, man. It shouldn't go on between two Muslims, man. And sometimes the wakil's not being honest. It don't, and people just try to make like they too much for this person or finances. It don't be that. It don't even be that, man. It be that petty, selfish, up to no good stuff, man. I know a young brother, 28 years old. Sister was 27. Yeah, he was 28, she was 27. And me and the parent was trying to help them get together and get everything together and all that. And she showed her mom a picture of the dude. Her mom says, brother had a good job. He had been to college, man. He was like an IT guy. He fooled with electronics and all that, computers. You know what I'm saying? He one of the guys, man, who come to the jobs and hook up all the computers for him and, make sure ain't no viruses. And he was an IT guy. He made some real decent little money. Didn't have no kids. Real smooth little brother on his ding. So she showed her mom a picture of him. The mom hadn't seen them. She showed her mom a picture of him. I'm right there. And her mom say, dude ain't got no better shoes than that. He couldn't have put no better shoes on. After that, the daughter didn't want him. And then the daughter ends up leaving Islam, man. Stop covering. Because now she out there chasing dudes that's selling the drugs and stuff with better shoes. But the crazy part was, it was his work shoes. it was some steel toe boots. It was work shoes. So that pettiness, man. And the mom, I just felt like I ain't gonna keep going into it, man. But that's just, I just want to say, man, these are the things that's keeping people single, man. People stuck in their ways that's just not benefiting them. People just getting real confrontational. You know what I'm saying? These women, in the name of masculinity, especially like with me, because I'm a mild-mannered person. I'm a real mild-mannered individual. And sometimes, man, people take that the wrong way. So like some of these sisters, man, they'll get to thinking they gonna run over you or talk crazy to you. You know what I'm saying? Like you could say something to them like, you funny. Damn, chest up. Who you talking to like that? You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, and I see brothers, man. I see brothers who be in marriages like that, man, and they wives be talking to them like that, man. But they be feeling like them brothers need them so bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Some of these sisters, man, I don't knock it. But I'm just gonna be real, man. A lot of these sisters, man, used to cats. Some of their relationships, the relationships that they have that last the longest, it be with somebody that's in jail. So they be used to cats who in jail, and then cats who come home from jail, and they really need them sisters so that they could get on their feet. And the sisters just used to talking them any type of way. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, I have yet to see a brother come home from jail and they met them in jail. The brother got him from prison. Like they didn't know each other on the streets and he went to jail. Somebody introduced them while they was in jail. And when them brothers come home, and once they get on their feet, they leave them sisters alone. They leave them alone, man. And whatever these sisters want to call it, masculine, whatever, man, is just unfortunate. And to me, all of it is fixable. All of it is fixable. I seen Islamically, and then I'm finna go and get up off of here, man. Islamically, I seen 2 marriages that was beautiful to me. And one, my brother told me about a couple. My brother was like, man, I know this brother and this sister. They had like 3 kids together. Whatever their bills was for the month, and she would come out and hustle with them. She made clothes. And then dude would do stuff like, he knew how to do a lot of stuff. He knew how to work on cars. He knew how to, he'd come cut your grass. He wasn't no bum cat. But he'd come do stuff like that. Work on cars, do your roof, fix your plumbing. You got some leaks in the house. What people used to just refer to as odd jobs. And he'd just go do all these odd jobs. At the end of the month, within the last 2 weeks, they both would get money together and get all the money they need. And then the beginning of the month, they pay all of their bills. And then the rest of the month, they just sat around and dined with the kids. They sat at home. When he was doing little stuff like he painting and this and that, she would come paint with him. She wanted to do it with him. He wasn't forcing her up on him. And then I seen another brother. They had he had 2 wives. They all lived in the same apartment complex. He had kids with both of them. Both of them sisters was friends. They both had apartments in the apartment complex. He would stay with one a certain amount of days. He would stay with the other one a certain amount of days. They all hung together. They raised the kids together. And he was the same way. He did little odd jobs. She hustled, his wives, they hustled. They made candles. Marriage was beautiful. But they got, they was in low income housing, and they got, the food stamp cards, just like the other brother. They got food stamp cards and all that. The imam told both of his brother wives to divorce him. He told the brother wives to divorce him because he wasn't really taking care of them. The government was taking care of them. But, he was getting his little guap up. Like both sisters had like a $10,000 stash in both of their house. So, he was getting it. Like I said, he was doing little stuff. Their bills wasn't really nothing. Little cable and internet. Kids had clothes, all that. He had $10,000 put up at both of their apartments. You know what I'm saying? The sisters hustled. He hustled. All legal. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he do little work. Paint your house, fix your roof, work on your car, change your tires. He got to it. And he spent the most, and his wives the imam found out and told both of the sisters to divorce him. Wallahi, dude, I talk about it in the video. Dude came to the masjid and whooped the imam. Whooped him. Put hands and feet on him. And told him, stay out of my business. But the marriage was beautiful. It worked for them. And they have been like that for years. I know several couples like that, man. And they be having the most beautifulest marriages, man. Because it's based on deen. All that petty stuff. Don't touch nothing in my kitchen. Wiping the TV off 75 times in an hour. Don't be having my remote on the couch. People don't stay married like that, man. They don't stay married like that. Except for them people, man. Them sisters, man, who like I say, I know some brothers, man, who made sisters, man, wallahi, man, like stand up with their nose in the corner. It ain't funny, man, but like sisters standing all in the house with they nose and stuff in the corner because they ate some candy. They ate something to cook. Like he put her on a food restriction. You can't eat no snacks, no candy. And like they got all these kids, so it's, Dorito chips and all that. And she got caught eating some candy or something, man. She had to stand with her nose in the corner, Nobody gonna stay married like that, man. You dealing with another Muslim, man. But, man, I done babbled long enough, man. Brothers, sisters, man, just look at all these things, man. When you trying to get married, and like I said, man, if people have those type of issues, you can't fix that. Unfortunately, man, some people have undiagnosed these things, politically, how they call them, they refer to these things as disorders, man. These things be mental issues. You know what I'm saying? This stuff is mental. Some people have real mental issues. Some people have to take pills and stuff for stuff like that, man. Like they really had to take medication to stop them from acting like that. Brothers and sisters, man, and this is a major issue. This is why a lot of Muslims, it be a lot of little stuff like this that really be keeping Muslims from getting married to each other. Trust me, man. Trust me. Trust me, man. Trust me. And it seemed trivial. It seemed trivial, man. And like I said, even with me, and then like I sit back. It be sometimes, man, where it be a sister or something who done caught my interest, but I don't move fast enough for them. Man, there's a couple of sisters, man, I done seen them get married 3-4 times. But I be seeing little stuff, man, I be like, nah, man, You know, and unfortunately, if they get the wrong type of brother, they gonna be reading some knuckles. Some of these sisters with that type of stuff, with the wrong brother, who can't handle that, who can't deal with that, sisters gonna find themselves reading some knuckles, kid. Unfortunately. So man, let me get on, man, and do what I gotta do, man. This is just some of the reality, man. And you know, may Allah aid us all and help us all, man. And just remain patient. Because people want to stay married. They don't want to just be getting married, especially some of y'all younger brothers, you know. And with the younger generation, I'm just seeing, man, these younger sisters not like the older generation of young sisters, man. These little young sisters, man, that's under 30, they not ready for no marriage, man. They not ready for no marriage. They don't want to be no wife, man. You know, and social media, man, like it be cracking me up, man, because females be trying to make like they just have all of these options. My DM blows up. And man, you know what I'm saying? You look at some of their DMs, man, it be cats all in Africa. You know what I'm saying? Cats in India. Like people who ain't even really that ain't really even got no real access to. Just weird people all in their DMs talking about how cute they is, and because of some old cat in China and Africa all in their DMs, they act like they got a million men to choose from. Like, man. So they, you know, they treat good brothers, man, like they got options. Man, it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy out here, man. So like for y'all who ain't married, man, I wish y'all the best, man. I wish y'all the best in trying to find somebody. You know, especially you younger brothers, man. And you know, some of these older people, man, they just need to get off that petty. It's just a lot of petty and selfishness, man. I just look at some people and be like, they really been alone too long. Like they been by themselves too long. They haven't been in a real functioning marriage that lasted. You know what I'm saying? They haven't been in a long functioning marriage that actually lasts. Some people, some brothers and some sisters, they just don't know how to be married, man. You know, just been in toxic situation after toxic situation, man. But anyway, man, yeah, let me get on up out of here, man, so I can, you know, lay down, man, and get ready for prayer, man. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.